Hello, everybody, and welcome back. So, in a community post that we had ended up posting a couple of days ago, we took a look and saw some other characters that people were wanting to see, and one of those characters that was incredibly potent was Loki. This is a character that a lot of people know has incredible carry potential. He's regarded as the hardest support in the game for good reason. To get value out of this character, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of playtime, and a lot of understanding how the game works. But for starters, we're going to have to start at the kit. So, to start, the primary fire, Mystical Missile. This is an ability that will do decent and okay damage. It's nothing special projectile-wise. It's very, very average speed, does average damage, and the healing on it is incredible. You would shoot this at a low health target to kind of boost them up. We'll go over here and shoot it from afar and just see how much healing we get actually. So we'll let the bot get down to about half. And as you can see, it does a decent amount of healing, and you can heal pretty quickly. But we'll get into the specifics of the ability and how good it is here in a minute. Next ability that we have is going to be Regeneration Domain. Essentially, what this will do is wherever Loki or a Loki clone is standing, he will, upon pressing the ability, drop a puddle that will heal anything in it, and they will pretty much not be able to take damage. This is probably, everybody knows, the single best ability for this character in his kit. Whenever you're in this, it is pretty much you are unkillable until the rune itself is broken. It's incredibly good, and it's just overall probably the most notorious part about his kit, other than the copy that he can do, just because upon dropping it, you are incredibly safe, and your team is safe. It's pretty much Baptista Lamp for those of you that were playing Overwatch back when. Next ability that we have is Doppelganger, project an illusion that can cast some of Loki's abilities. And what this will do, as you can see, is we have the clone over here. We can end up placing up to 2 clones at a time. It caps at 2. And the nice thing is that these clones will actually mimic most of what Loki does aside from movement. So they will not move, and they cannot place clones of their own. However, if you shoot in an area, they will shoot wherever your crosshair is. As you can see, they look wherever I look. And if we drop a well, what you'll see is that they also drop wells, which is great. And the damage that comes from these clones, what you must understand is that Loki is a character that has about 33% efficiency on his own, but whenever he has 2 other clones, he's at max efficiency. And now, as you can see, that damage that we had on the robot earlier is now enough to 3-tap, given that everything lands on a 250 HP target. Very, very good stuff. Next we have is the Devious Exchange, which is a longer cooldown ability, much like the lamp, but we're actually able to swap places with a clone. This is about, we'll go ahead and just take a look really quick. So we'll drop the clone. This is a 15-second cooldown, and the lamp is about 25 seconds. So very, very long cooldowns on this character, which is a big part of what makes Loki rather difficult, because you actually have to understand and utilize the cooldowns well. We have a little bit of a passive ability, but it's called Backstab. So rather than doing a little bit of damage, when stabbing from the back, Loki actually gets a little bit more damage. It's not something that you'll get a whole lot of value out of, but whenever you do actually get a kill, you get an achievement for it, so it's a pretty nifty little thing to have, just a little bit extra damage. And Deception. So Deception is an ability upon pressing the right-click button for those of you on PC. You'll actually go invisible until you take damage or use an ability, and essentially you will heal in this state. You'll be completely invisible, and it's really, really good for walking around, kind of trying to get high ground, just overall be very, very sneaky. This is probably the least utilized ability with the stealth. A lot of people actually don't use it in such a way, because oftentimes you'll see that people will just quickly use it to drop down a clone, so that way they can hold onto a clone, place it, and then teleport out. But the last but not least ability that we have to go over is actually going to be the copy. So we'll go over up here to the Luna Snow AI, and we will just take a peek and see. So as you can see, it gives me the option to shapeshift, and upon pressing it, we now have 15 seconds of playing as the character. And while this sounds really, really good, and it is, it actually gets even better. As you can see at the bottom right, our whole ult charge is refilled, and if we even wait till the very last second, as long as we press the ult charge button, we get 15 seconds, and now we are essentially playing Luna Snow's ult. We can do all of the nifty tricks. You can do everything in one of these characters. It is an exact one-to-one copy, including like skins and things like that, and we even have a little bit of time afterward to keep going, which is great. It's a very, very, very strong ability, and it is part of the reason why Loki is so good, because Loki actually charges his support ult much faster than other supports currently, because he builds it so fast off of healing. We'll go ahead and just take a quick look at the robots right here, and look at how much healing they're going to be getting just from us dealing the primary fire. Not bad at all. Very, very, very solid. Okay, and so for the next thing, a lot of people are probably going to be wondering, okay, well, what are the good ways to be utilizing the clones? Now, a lot of the time, a lot of people will be using them and kind of have a clone and standby. I see this a lot, especially on low elos, or people just putting their clones in very, very erratic spots that don't make a ton of sense. Well, I'm not exactly an advanced player at it. Loki is my most played support, and he's the support that I've seen the most results on as I've been playing. About a game away from lording him. So the biggest thing is that there are about 3 setups that you would want to do. So the first thing that we'll go over is the firing line. So essentially, what you'll want to do is, say our tank is playing here, and this is our tank right here. Putting a clone right here with our exchange, the right click, the thing that makes you go invisible, deception, is really nice. And then you would have a clone behind you. And essentially, now you have a really, really strong firing line. And then say this is the tank, and we're trying to heal him, and he ends up getting low. This is a really good opportunity for us to place a puddle behind him, so that way he can get the healing from the puddle, and now we're still healing for the people that are outside of it, doing as much damage as possible. It's great, it's fantastic, it's super good. I'm trying to make these guys go away. Can you? No. Okay, that's fine. The next thing that we're probably going to talk about right here is actually going to require us to go up here. There's a lot of times where you're going to be playing, especially on defense, where you can put clones up on top, and you can get a lot of value off of the high ground. This is really good as well, because you still have one of the clones because you put down one of the ones with the exchange. It's super important that we make sure that we're always trying to get one of the clones to be used out of the right click, so that way we have one of our range clones on standby to put down that we can always teleport to if we're in a pinch like that. It's very, very important, because Loki is a very stationary character whenever he does not have his lamp. The other big benefit of playing in a situation like this is actually, as you can see, the Loki clones will look wherever we're looking, so it's very hard to differentiate which ones. So if they're playing something like a Hela and they're shooting, they're going to have to guess 1 out of 3 for which clone is the correct one. And just by standing still, because they can't tell which clone that you're playing, in a situation like this, you're actually able to just act like an AI. I know a lot of characters are like, oh my gosh, as a sport you need to be always moving. There are instances where Loki actually does not have to do this, and he gets a lot of value out of not doing that. Say our team is playing all the way over there on the 25-meter mark. Now we're able to heal them for free, and then if somebody actually does pressure us, very quickly we can snap out, and then we're okay. And now we're in a very, very, very good spot, which is great. Because Loki's so good at relocating and changing his spot on the fly, he's very, very tricky and offers a lot of skill expression, the most out of every support in the game other than Jeff the Landshark, because as we know, playing Jeff is like riding a skateboard. The next thing that we have, as far as Loki setups go, is one that we're going to utilize if they're running something like a tank. What you want to do here is kind of put one on all sides, kind of like a triangle formation. And now, because of this, say that the shield is pointed at us, now the Loki clone is firing behind him, and it's quite easy to actually set this up in this way, because as you can see, we can just put them quickly in a line, and then if we get in trouble, yet again, we can snap out, and now, same triangle, just on a different angle from it. And then if we get our cooldown back in 15 seconds, boom. Now, same thing. And again, this works if they don't see where you put the clones at. You can act like a bot, and now they actually have to guess which clone you are, because they're being shot at from 3 sides. They actually have to take a guess as to which one you are. If they don't have enough, we'll call it evidence or proof that you are the current clone, they'll have to guess for the most part, which is great. The biggest thing, as we talked about a little bit earlier, Loki is 33% as useful, alone, as he would be with all 3. So it is very, very important that you are always trying to keep your uptime on your clones very high, because otherwise your stats will suffer as a product of it. The biggest thing is that having all 3 clones on Loki will make this character look incredibly good. But the problem is, again, like we said earlier, we saw the stats that we had. We'll go ahead and put these bots over here. When shooting at this robot alone, we are hitting like a feather, and it's very, very problematic for us. And even whenever we just have the 1 extra bot, it's a lot more damage. And then if we add the 3rd, it is just so much extra, and this goes for healing as well. You always want to have as much uptime as you possibly can. The other thing that I really, really want to recommend, this is the last point that we'll go over, is whenever you're using your ultimate, right, it's very, very, very common that you'll run into an issue of capturing another ultimate that you're not wanting, whether a tank is jumping in front of you. The biggest thing that I can stress is to have either you ult first and you grab the support ult early. So let's say we are getting ready to engage, and I know that, and I want our Luna Snow to not have the issue of me messing up my ultimate. I'll capture the ultimate first, and then I will go in and allow her to ult after I'm done with mine, right? Because then she has the safety of hers, and we can back out, which is great. But we also have the situations where, let's say, our support is going to be ulting first, right? And now we're in a little bit of a pickle. Say we're playing over here on this staircase right here, and the Luna Snow is doing her thing. The biggest thing that I recommend is if we're playing with the tanks in front of us and she's in ult, TPing up top, then capturing with the ultimate. I don't have it up right now, but capturing with the ultimate after that, and then we can immediately go back in, as we talked about, whenever we're on the high ground. Now we have the ultimate the second hers ends. Now we are also in ult, and it's very, very good. And this doesn't necessarily only apply to support ults. Capturing damage ults like Storm ult, which is really good for baiting out support ults. Star-Lord ult, which is the same. Hela ult, which can be really good for catching people that aren't down their cooldowns to take out the big giant ultimate, are rather great. It's a very, very, very good thing. And it's something that I love about Loki, because this character actually feels as if you're always able to do something different, and you're always able to have kind of a different experience playing him every time. If you want to be just efficient and you want to just be playing with the clones like this in a firing line, it's doable. And not in every situation will this be the perfect play, but it'll at least get you to at least Grandmaster. I've seen plenty of people do it. Even the #1 Loki player over in Asia, as of right now, he does not even hold his clones and put them in crazy spots. He is just worried about getting the ultimate, which is totally fine, because as you can see, man, do we get that ultimate quick. It is really, really fast with how fast we get this ult. We're just gaining percent over and over and over again. But without further ado, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you want to go try Loki. Again, we will have a video that is going to be going up later today on Loki, and kind of a live commentary of what we're doing and the thoughts and process that we're going over. I appreciate it, guys. I love you so much, and I'll talk to you next time. Later. See ya. Love ya. Bye.